finally all about the electric vehicle here in South Africa. It's taken some time, but they're all coming in thick and fast at the moment. Not that any of us could probably afford them. This is the hugest problem with EVs at this point in time, and it's devastating because, honestly, 99% of South Africans will not be able to afford them. If you consider that, like, the cheapest on the market, besides that weird little thingamajiggy, but the mini BMW i3, etc., I mean, you're still looking at like 700,000 Rand. And then enter the 2.2 million Rand BMW iX50. Let me tell you though, I never thought I would say this. If I had 2.2 million Rand to just throw away, well, not even throw away, I would probably buy this. I'm getting that excited feeling that I got when I first drove the i3, which was, one of the first electric vehicles, the first one I'd ever driven, certainly. It was just like this futuristic, way out feeling. And this iX has done the same thing. Like, years later, it's taken BMW some time, right? I mean, they were on that. They were sort of like ahead of the curve, like way ahead. And then they sort of pulled back and went like, cool, let's do plug-in EV, like hybrid vibes and whatever. Then a couple of like the big guys left. They were like, nope, we want a better electric future or whatever. But BMW so easily caught up and we're like, here, boom, here's a masterpiece for you. We didn't need that much time to put it together because this is quite astounding, I have to say. Look, the look is quite polarizing. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. I even don't hate the grille. And I think because it's got this like beautiful goldish, like the plastic, whatever it is on the front, which apparently like doesn't scratch. And if it does scratch, heat will then cover the scratches, like it sort of melts into itself or whatever. I mean, there's just so many things about this car that are like the attention to detail and the future of it is just incredible. So I think it looks pretty amazing, but I can get why people think it looks a bit ugly. I love the way it looks outside. I think it's from the back. Sorry, it stands out. And one also has to remember that this isn't an ICE vehicle, an internal combustion engine vehicle. Do you know, it's different. So the design has to be different. It's not supposed to look like the X5 or like anything else. There's no engine to consider. It's got a battery. It's got to be weighted differently. There's so many factors that goes into designing this car so that we can actually drive it and not flop over and fall on the road. I think it looks amazing. But then you step inside and believe me, there is no polarization in here. You cannot be anything but in love with this interior. I would go as far to say I think it's one of the best interiors I've ever experienced in a car. It is phenomenal. The space obviously is incredible. You don't have, the transmission box and everything here, whatever. So there's loads of space. It's very spacious. But the luxury and the details. I mean, you've got crystal, like the crystal, like turb knobbly thing. And then the gear lever. This electric adjustable seat is all in crystal and it's like gold crystal. I mean, I hate maroon, but I don't hate it in here. I just think it all looks beautiful. The screens along here, so it's actually two screens. You might think it's one long screen. It's actually not separated. It's got one piece of glass over both of them. And then this panoramic sunroof, which goes all the way to the end, can be tinted with the press of a button, which I've done. I don't know if you can see it, but then like you can see, and then let me not crash while I did, and then you press it again and it tints. Amazing! Amazing! Love that so much. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. This will probably be one of my longest reviews. I wish I could go into more detail, but we'll be here for 2 hours. I mean, it will eventually get easier with EVs. We just don't know enough about them yet, and they are so new and exciting for us, specifically here in South Africa. So to cover everything in one video is insane. I drove the e-tron last week. I'd love to compare it. The only thing I can say now quickly is that this has more range than the e-tron. So this is up to 630, probably more likely going to get about 550, 600, whatever. But still pretty good, right? I actually, in fact, don't often like to take EVs because I have nowhere to charge them. I don't have a garage I can pull into and plug it in. So that's, going to be a problem for a lot of people as well. And I don't take it because range anxiety is a thing. You're like, oh shit, like what if now you run out and then whatever. And I don't want to go and sit at a mall, to be honest, every couple of days for a few hours or an hour or two, and waiting for it to charge. I hate that idea. So if you are going to get an electric vehicle, you have to treat it like you would your cell phone. So you plug that in overnight. Don't worry about load shedding. Everyone's saying, it's going to be a problem. No, it's not going to be a problem. If you think about it, if you plug your cell phone in overnight, it's fully charged the next day, even if you've had load shedding in the middle of the night, right? I do, mine's fine. The 2 hours don't make a difference. So you'll be fine. It will charge, and then you go off to work and back or whatever. To be fair, I got this with 460 Ks on the range. I could have this for 4-5 days probably, because I wouldn't actually drive that much, especially your everyday commuting is what most people should be doing when they've got an electric car. You go to work, you go back, you go to the shops, you go back. You're not doing long road trips essentially every day. Let's talk about the power quickly, because this is numbers that you get in a V8, okay? So you're getting 385 kilowatts of power and 765 newton meters of torque. You're going to get to 100 k's power in 4.6 seconds, but I can tell you this now. I drove it a lot yesterday and I put my foot, I really gunned it in this car. And it's not even hard to do that. You put your foot down, it's instant. That's the thing with electrification, with battery. There's no delay. It is instant responsive power. It made my eyes feel like they were at the back of my head for a while afterwards. And in fact, I felt a little bit nauseous. And I think it's, you sort of, if you're not used to it, it's going to take some time, because I was constantly back in my seat, but it's pretty incredible. And then in terms of sort of fuel consumption, this IX50 or whatever came 23 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Now I'm going to be very honest here, okay? I'm so shit at maths, calculations, numbers, science, battery stuff. I had to Google how to say kilowatt hours. I still don't even know what it means. I will get there. But for now, that's all you need to know. So if you know, then, good on you. And the other thing, maybe what I did figure out, or how I did sort of thing to try and get this across to you, basically, this would be about 4 times cheaper than the fuel consumption that you would spend, or you would use, or spend money-wise from a cost point of view. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I can't work it out in numbers actual rands and stuff, because okay, that's never gonna happen. I can't do fractions, percentages. It's just not my vibe. Some people are good at other things. I'm not good at that. I'm good at many other things. Can you get enough of me tonight? There's something that drives me wild. Some red lipstick on my teeth, maybe. The one thing about driving, it's beautiful to drive, and obviously you've got regenerative braking. It's actually got adaptive regeneration. You can change a lot of things on here. This infotainment system is incredible. It takes me a long time to work that out. The thing is, and it will adapt to you, whatever, but as you take your brake, it's quite a forceful braking situation, which I don't love. I don't know how to change it. I think apparently you can, so that it sort of goes towards how you want it to be, whatever used. Obviously you want it to brake in order to generate more power, but I must be honest, if I take my foot off and it does this, it's too much. So maybe you might feel like it's not as dynamic. That's what I think of your comment. If you do, it's not supposed to be. You've got to change your mindset when it comes to an electric vehicle. It's not supposed to be thrown into corners. This is, after all, actually a family car. If you want the sound that you get from an ICE vehicle, then you can play it through here. They've got iconic sounds here. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's actually ridiculous. I love how eerily quiet it is in here. It's beautiful. I'm so tired of the blah, 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 and the drone and of an engine. You don't need that anymore. I mean, you can get it when you want to. Look, it is probably the best of the synthetic sounds that I've heard before. So kudos to BMW for making that really sound great. But again, I think it's ridiculous and not necessary. Enjoy. the quiet. Just enjoy the quiet. Shame this guy wants to come out, so come on out, Mr. Trucky Truck. So like I say, if you're going to look into getting this, you can get the iX40. I think that comes in at 1.65 million, you know, either way. But make sure you get a charger at home. Don't use a extension cord to wherever it's going, because that will melt. It has to plug straight into the wall, into the charger. That's what you ideally want to do if you're going to have this car. Now, again, I wish that I could speak so much more on this car because it is quite phenomenal, but I don't have enough time, and neither do you. And eventually, like I say, it will become easier and quicker. Hopefully we'll start seeing cheaper EVs coming into South Africa, so some of us can actually maybe afford them. Until then, guys, I don't want to give this back. I want to keep it. I love it. I think it is a masterpiece from BMW. I'm really, really, really impressed by it. Okay, I've put the sound on. I don't know if you can hear it. Let's see. Fuck, I need to shit myself though as I put my foot down. I have to say, I forget that there's no delay. I don't think you can hear it even. It's like, it's quite subtle. Let's see, I'm gonna go in a straight line now. Not necessary, right? I don't think so. Whoa.